A few mornings ago, my Pleiadian friends woke me up at 5 o'clock, and I didn't want to get up, so I tried to go back to sleep. And my head started itching, and I tossed and turned, and I finally said, okay, what do you want to talk about? So every morning I journal in a book like this. Might be a different color, but this time they started off showing me a vision. And of course I wrote it down, and I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm moving to the channeling. I will tell you this video contains a healing transmission at the end, but you're going to be the one to decide if you would like to accept the healing transmission or not. So be tuned into your heart already, okay? So here's the vision. There was an old wisdom keeper, keeper of the well, guardian of the well of living waters. And I'm just going to interject, the well of living waters has been talking about in every spiritual tradition since the beginning of time, even like Ponce de Leon was looking for the fountain of eternal youth. So there is usually some validity when there's a lot of myths around a topic. I continue with the vision. A large crowd of millions were silently waiting, gathered around the well. You could have heard a pin drop. There was a young man there. He was the chosen one to take the first drink of this living water. Since the time of Christ. Now, there have been many Christ-like energies throughout all time and in every dimension. Great leaders who come to restore that which was lost. In the case of your Christ entity, coming to restore the knowledge that you are divine. Keep in mind the Pleiadians were talking to me. Rebecca, in the case of your Christ entity, the one I know as the Christ. So let's get back to the water. The young man chosen to be the first to taste from this ancient well now dwells among you as a thought form that sprang from every cell of his body as the water awakened the cellular memories of life eternal and rejuvenated within. If you are attracted to this information, then you are being influenced by the thought forms of this replicating and living water. And I'm just going to interject now. Just like the divine has no vehicles, if we don't transmit, receive, and transmit, the living water needs a vessel. Otherwise, it just sits there being living water. The water now is calling forth to the very essence of you, each and every one of you listening to this presentation. The water abundant within your own being is calling for replenishment from the source of living water. Choose now if you wish to drink. For this water is being rediscovered, reactivated, and offered to every living being on your planet Earth. Once you choose to drink, your cells will begin to emit their song of rejoicing. Your body will begin to sing the songs long forgotten. You will begin an awakening process unlike anything you have experienced so far in this earthly existence. There is no turning back once you partake. The memories will begin to appear before your very eyes in some cases. This is still the Pleiadians talking. Just as Rebecca was shown the vision of the well, you may begin to experience memories of yourself in other times, other dimensions, other states of being. And this is only to help you remember what you have always and ever known, that you are indeed eternal and multidimensional, that you have memories once awakened that can send out healing energies far and wide. That you, darling ones, are indeed chosen, but not by someone outside yourselves, by you. You are in a future existence, or you were in a future existence, made sure that you would come back in time and be available to be present to hear this. You chose this so that you could arise from your slumber state and continue your mission to be of service. For you yourself have been and are even now a Christ-like entity with the same abilities to bring wisdom, to reawaken all those that you come into contact with. Once you willingly own this and choose to partake of this living water from the well of ancient wisdom, your cells will begin their song in earnest. You will become an even greater broadcast station of frequency, purity of frequency. You will not need to say a word. The frequency emitted by the singing of your cells. Just saying that gives me the shivers. Of your own cell song. Those who need your frequency will be attracted to the frequency that you are emitting. The cell song will produce tiny particles of this living wisdom water, which will be taken in by the cells of those attracted to your personal frequency. Each of you, no matter how many million there are, emit your own absolutely unique frequency. The water of life enhances and strengthens the frequency that you already carry. Once enhanced, your frequency is like medicine, sorely needed both by yourself and others who are attracted to your essence. You need not concern yourself that you will be depleted by those attracted to your frequency. The molecules within the water of wisdom and life are self-sustaining, self-replicating, self-loving, and eternal life-supporting. Do you wish to proceed to the well You might have a question first. I did. I asked the Pleiadians, well, what will the living water do? And they answered, the living water, once ingested etherically, and I will guide you in this if you choose at the end of this video, will begin to repair the aberrations even now taking place in your cellular systems. The water itself is a living entity with consciousness that knows what your body system has need of most. Most of your food sources have been defiled. The plant kingdom, forced with chemical stimulants to produce massive yet inferior crops. The animal kingdom, also forced with chemical stimulation to produce more harvest, and then killed, harvested, treated with inhumane measures, all hiding under the seeming cloak of greed. And you say, yes, we know they're greedy and we accept greed. However, that might be the acceptable explanation that you can wrap your mind around, yet in reality, your food sources have been tampered with for only one reason, so that humans would ingest inferior products filled with fear energy, so that the resulting poor health conditions and transferred chemical ailments would cause humans to emit fears, anxieties, and despondency attitudes. All these energy sources of food for the malevolent forces. A friend of mine, I'm coming back to me, Rebecca, asked me the other day, well, what are the Pleiadians doing to try and help us from other species that have manipulated our water, our food? And one of the messages the Pleiadians constantly give me is, oh, Rebecca, help people to look within, to realize their value, their own divinity, and wake up, humans. Realize that every energy that you put out is a food source. If it's fear and chaos, it attracts other fear and chaos energies until you feel so burdened down. Of course, on the good side, you can begin to emit joy, happiness, and love. You know, humans are the only species that can love on purpose. That's another topic for another video. Let me get back to the living waters. So, the Pleiadians say, partaking of the etherical waters of ancient wisdom will be will begin a repairing and shielding process. Now, I am reading this, so if I stumble a little bit, I'm just human. We are grateful that humanity is beginning to awaken to the consciousness in all things. Humanity is beginning to have more respect for keeping integrity in the food industry and food sources. Next, we will present a meditation to you that will offer you a drink of this living water, the water that will begin to repair, awaken the life-enhancing process. And what I'd like for you to do now before I bring you the meditation is to pause this video right now and just drop to your heart of hearts and ask your heart, is this for my highest good right now? There is the part of your heart that knows only truth. If this water and this meditation, it's etherical, is for your highest good, then after you pause a moment, come back and I will guide you in the meditation. If you're back, I assume that you're ready to partake in this meditation and that you believe this transmission, that there is a source of living waters that will begin to protect, restore, rejuvenate the cells within your body. And more importantly than that, my beloveds, to help you to emit a frequency of love, of joy, and knowing that you're not alone, that you're loved. And so, I ask you to relax and close your eyes. Take some deep breaths in and out. And we call in protective light from Prime Creator. We call in protective light to surround you now, that only those things of the absolute highest good will be allowed near you. And in this space of feeling protected, knowing that you are loved, and knowing that even as a great war has been raging for this planet, that you are protected. My beloved ones, it is time for you to awaken more fully. And so as you relax and as you are protected, imagine, pretend, even if you have trouble visualizing, pretend that you are at an ancient well. Pretend that you don't have any shoes on and you're barefooted. There are cobblestones around the well. The air is still, and there is a feeling of reverence in the air. You do look around and you see the waiting millions. And yet, there is space for you by the well. Pretend that you see the old wisdom keeper, the keeper of the well. He holds in his hand a silver goblet. He looks you in the eyes and he asks, are you ready for this awakening? It may happen suddenly, or it may happen very slowly as you acknowledge that you are ready to emit a higher frequency of love, joy, happiness. Yes. He lowers a wooden bucket down into the well. You hear the squeakiness of the pulley. You listen as the bucket splashes into the water. And when that splash is heard, the crowd lets out a barely perceptible gasp. He slowly pulls the bucket up to the top of the well. He dips the silver goblet into the bucket. He hands you the goblet, and you look at it for a moment. You see the water sparkling in the goblet. It's as if you can hear the water singing to you. Joyful sounds. And still looking right into the wisdom keeper's eyes, you bring the goblet to your lips. You feel the coolness of the silver. As you press it against your lips, you notice there are symbols carved into the silver. You feel the symbols upon your lips, and that alone begins a spark of electricity, of recognition. You have been here before. You have done this before. And now you tilt the goblet, and you feel the first droplets of water entering your mouth. Oh, sweet nectar. The cells within your tongue begin to sing a song of joy. Oh, sweet nectar. You swallow 12 times. 1, and breathe. 2, swallow and breathe. 3, swallow and breathe. 4, swallow and breathe. 5, swallow and breathe. 6, swallow and breathe. Take a deep breath in and out. 7, swallow and breathe. 8, swallow and breathe. 9, swallow and breathe. Rest a moment. 10, swallow and breathe. 11, swallow and breathe. 12, swallow, breathe. Begin to feel the response of every cell in your body to this living water, awakening cellular memories of goodness, of strength. Awakening you to the value that you are. Awakening you to the power of your heart's love. And in this empowered state, send a wave of love back to the wisdom keeper. And as this joy begins to course throughout your body, imagine that you can hear every little cell in your body beginning to sing, singing a song of joy, love, restoration, rejuvenation. And as you take a deep breath in and as you exhale, tiny little droplets of joy energy go out from you. You see the millions gathered around a well. They don't need to take a drink of their own, because as you emit these tiny droplets of joy energy, they are multiplied, 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 and they begin to rain down upon all the millions who are gathered. And you see, beloved, that this is the power that you have as one person. When you intend to increase your frequency, when you intend to increase the power of your love, go in peace. And as this presentation has blessed you, drop to your heart and ask, who could I share this presentation with? Because, beloved, this is a great pearl of wisdom, and you don't want to share it with people who would just think, oh, you're crazy. Pleiadians, frequencies. But, beloved, you know in your heart there are those who could be rejuvenated by this living water. And you also know it's not necessary for you to go around talking about it. This living water that you have ingested etherically will multiply and multiply and grow. And every time you think a loving thought, when you send love on purpose from your human heart, you are doing more to transmute all the powers of darkness than any angel could do. There is no greater power on this earth than the magnetism from a human heart that loves on purpose. Angels can't help but love. God can't help but love. Animals love. You get to choose. See the power in that? You get to choose to love, to share joy, to be an uplifter. I'm so proud of you for staying with me. I invite you to subscribe to this channel. I also invite you to put your comments in the comment section and let me know what kind of sensations you felt. You may have some other topics you'd like for our Pleiadian friends to share with us. And they always, always tell me this. We are not gods any more than you are. And yet, we have evolved, and we can look back and see the power that you have that you are not claiming. And so, My name is Rebecca Marina Messenger. And you know what? I love you. I feel so much love for you staying with me and watching this. So much love from my heart. Be blessed.